Last time, Greece held back Persia. Marathon, Thermopylae, Salamis. The war ended. Athens rose from its ruins into one of history's most brilliant ages. But at the end of that brilliant age, a destruction of Greece's own making was waiting. History Episode 16. Classical Era. Athens at its height, and the Peloponnesian War. In 478 BC, Athens gathered the Greek city-states that had fought Persia into an alliance, the Delian League. The League's purpose was to stand against Persia. Each city-state contributed ships or money. But over time the alliance changed. Athens began using other cities' money for its own purposes. In 454 BC, Athens moved the treasury to Athens. The alliance had become an empire. When allies tried to leave, Athens used force to stop them. This was no longer a free alliance. This planted the seed of the Peloponnesian War. Sparta and its allies feared Athenian power. The Athenian Empire prospered. Tribute poured in and the city was rebuilt. Citizens lived well. In 461 BC, Pericles came to the center of Athenian politics and led the city for nearly 30 years. Pericles widened democracy by introducing pay for public office, letting even poor citizens serve. Yet Pericles also tightened citizenship. Both parents had to be Athenian-born. In 447 BC, the Parthenon's construction began, centerpiece of Pericles' great Acropolis rebuilding program. The Parthenon was more than a temple. It was a declaration of Athenian power and beauty to the world. Inside the Parthenon stood the statue of Athena, made of gold and ivory, standing roughly 12 meters tall. Sophocles wrote tragedy. Herodotus wrote history. And Socrates kept questioning in the Agora. Pericles connected all of this to civic pride. Athens, he said, was the school of Greece. In 431 BC, war began. The Peloponnesian League under Sparta against the Delian League under Athens. The war was not simply Athens against Sparta, Corinth, Thebes. The Greek world was divided. Pericles' strategy was to avoid land battle, hold the walls, and strike the enemy coast by sea. Every year Spartan armies ravaged Attica. Athenians withdrew behind their walls as farmland burned. Pericles' strategy was sound. But Attic farmers could barely endure watching their land burn. In 430 BC, plague struck Athens. Packed inside the walls, the population had nowhere to flee. The plague took roughly a quarter of Athens's population, including Pericles himself in 429 BC. After Pericles, Athenian politics became unstable. Demagogues swayed the assembly. In 421 BC, the peace of Nicias paused the war, but the underlying tensions remained. Before the peace, the fighting was fierce. In 422 BC at Amphipolis, both Cleon of Athens and Brasidas of Sparta were killed. Alcibiades, an ambitious Athenian general, wanted a bigger war. In 415 BC, Athens voted to send a massive fleet to Sicily for Western dominance. On the eve of the expedition, Alcibiades was charged with impiety. He fled to Sparta, and betrayed Athenian plans. In 413 BC, Sicily ended in catastrophe. The fleet destroyed. 40,000 dead or enslaved. This was the turning point. Athens had crossed a line it could not uncross. Sparta turned to Persia for help, building a fleet with Persian money. At Aegospotami in 405 BC, the Spartan fleet under Lysander destroyed the Athenian navy in a single swift stroke. Athens was besieged. Its grain supply cut off. In 404 BC, Athens surrendered. The long walls came down. The fleet was disbanded. 30 oligarchs seized control of Athens. The 30 executed roughly 1,500 citizens. Within a year the Democrats reclaimed Athens. 27 years of war. Greece had exhausted itself. Winner and loser alike were weakened. What the Athenian Golden Age left behind could not be erased. Not buildings, but ideas. Throughout the war, Socrates kept asking in the Agora, "What is knowledge? What is justice? What is a good life?" In 399 BC, 5 years after the war, Athens put Socrates on trial. Impiety and corrupting the youth. The Parthenon remained. The record of Athenian democracy remained. Socrates' questions remained. Athens' self-destruction left one lesson. Even democracy can collapse before fear and ambition. The Peloponnesian War ended. Sparta had won. But Sparta too would not last long. Greece had exhausted itself. And to the north, a new power was growing. Macedonia. Next time. The Golden Age of Greek philosophy. Socrates, Plato, Aristotle.
Consider the forms, gentlemen.